Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys some tips and some tricks for Murder Mystery 2. So basically whatever role we get is the tips that I'm going to be teaching you. So let's get into the video. Alright, so the tip that I'm going to teach you about first are things you should be aware of. So I'm going to start with hackers. So there are, I'm pretty sure, more than 3 types, but I'm only going to name 3 because that's all I can remember. So the first type that I'm going to talk about are coin glitches. So basically what coin glitches do is they do not double coins, but what they do is they would make it so then they would go underground. And when they're underground, it would make it hard for you to actually kill them. And the reason why they go underground and not just on top is because it's easier for them, I guess, to collect coins underground and not be killed. But once they are full of coins, they would usually stop where they are. So if you were a murderer, say, you would be able to look for like a little pinprick of hair or a little pinprick of clothing or accessories or anything like that on someone that would be in the ground. The next hacker that I'm going to be talking about are people, I forget what they're called, but they make it so then they cannot be killed. Basically what they do is they hack the game somehow. So then if you tried to kill them, it would make a whole bunch of kill sounds, but they would not be killed at all. That's basically it for that kind of hacker. There's another kind of hacker. This is the last hacker that I'm going to tell you about, but there's another kind of hacker that makes it so then they would like be sheriff or murderer, or at least get a good role every single time. So like say you were sheriff and they were murderer, they would basically be able to get murderer every single round. But the good side of that would be you would be able to know who is murderer if you were sheriff. Because if they're murderer every single round, it would be a pretty easy kill because you already know that they're murderer. So that's it for the hackers. And next tip that I'm going to be talking about are things to do when you're innocent. So I'm going to start with coin collecting. So what I like to do when I'm innocent is, of course, stay away from everyone unless there's the gun out. But basically what I like to do is I like to just collect coins the whole time. So I would go around and I would collect every coin that I would see and wait until my coin bag was full, or my candy bag, or whatever the update is. I would wait until that would be full, and then after that would be full, then I would start actually playing. But yeah, that's it for the coin collecting thing. The next thing that I'm going to be talking about as a tip for being innocent is juking. So basically what juking is if the murderer is near you and or they are throwing the knife or are trying to stab, basically what you do is you would find like a near object, like say a box around a corner or something like that. And if they're chasing you, you'd jump on the box like this and you would jump off again. So then it would juke them and you would go over their head like that. And then they wouldn't be able to kill you, but they would still be chasing you. So you got to be careful with how many jukes you do, because if you do the juke wrong, then you would be able to be killed. I'm going to use this as an example, like pretend that this is a corner. You would walk up to it, you would jump over, and you would go like that. There's also another juke called the ladder juke, which I'm going to show you right now if I don't get killed. Basically, you would go into a map that has a ladder, and you would climb up the ladder like this, and you would jump down like that. So you climb up, and you would go like that. I like to double jump at the end. So you would climb up, and you would double jump back like that. that's how I would do the juke for that. But that's it for juking. And the next tip that I'm going to teach you about are tips for being like murderer or sheriff or something like that. So I'm going to start with tips for being murderer. So there's not really many tips for being murderer other than to try and kill everyone. But one tip that I would really recommend doing is not targeting. Because usually if you're a murderer, you get way too excited and you end up kind of targeting the sheriff. So basically you would only chase after the sheriff and you would either end up getting shot by the sheriff or you would run at a time if you don't end up killing the sheriff. So that's basically it for murderer, other than not spam jumping or camping or anything like that. So I'm going to move on to sheriff. So one tip that I have for being sheriff is staying away from everyone, because you never know if the murderer could come along. So you should stay away from absolutely everyone until you absolutely know who, I've said absolutely way too many times, but until you actually know who the murderer is, I would stay away from people. And if someone is following you, I wouldn't try and shoot them until they take out their knife, but don't stop just in case. Because if you shoot someone that's not the murderer, and they might be just following you to like get the gun if you die or something like that, or just collecting candies. So make sure not to shoot any innocents and make sure you know who the murderer is. Also, do not team. Teaming is when you are murderer and someone else is like sheriff or something, and you would like team with them. So like you would be like, all right, I'll kill everyone else and then you don't shoot me. Like that's basically what teaming is. That's like sort of the whole like thing with teaming. But yeah. That's like sort of like the tip that I have for, see, like right here, she was just hacking. But that's like the tip that I have for being sheriff. So I think that's basically it for the tips that I can show you for now. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.